For 50 years, three car companies quietly decided who was allowed to build a serious off-roader: Mercedes, Land Rover, Toyota. If you wanted something that looked like it could survive the apocalypse and still valet park outside a five-star hotel, you paid for the badge. 60 grand at the low end. 200 grand if you wanted the version that made people stop on the street. Quietly, in showrooms almost nobody was watching, this showed up. Flat front end the size of a dining table. Panel gaps tighter than car. No engine under that hood. No gearbox. A hidden compartment on the back door. If that's the kind of thing you're into, hit like right now. Let's get into it. This is the Jaecoo J6, and in under a year, it's become one of the fastest growing new arrivals in the UK market. Right now, product planners in Stuttgart and the West Midlands are having a genuinely bad week because of it. By the end of this, you'll know exactly why. Before the engineering, we need to talk. The shape sells the car before a single spec matters. Look at every off-roader that's held its value for 20 straight years. Flat roof, vertical windscreen, corners you could cut yourself on. None of them aerodynamic. None of them efficient. Boxy reads as strong. Round reads as soft. Nobody lines up for the soft one, which is exactly why one iconic G-Wagon hasn't really changed shape in 40 years. That same boxy shape is a nightmare for efficiency. On a diesel, that barely matters. Drag costs you a bit of fuel, so you just carry more fuel. Bigger tank, bigger engine, sorted. On a battery, that trick doesn't exist. Drag eats straight into range, and range is the one thing an EV can't fake its way around. More drag needs a bigger battery. Bigger battery weighs more. And that exact loop convinced almost every manufacturer on the planet that an affordable, boxy electric off-roader simply wasn't possible. One company looked at that loop. 95% of cars on the road are steel, cheap, strong. Every factory on Earth already knows how to work with it. The trade-off: steel is heavy, and it rusts, quietly, from inside every seam it's welded into. Aluminum fixes both problems at once. Roughly a third of the weight. Doesn't corrode. Which is exactly why, for 30 years, it's been reserved for one category of car: the ultra-premium end. Shaping aluminum means stamping individual panels and welding them together by hand. Slow, skilled, expensive. This is where it gets clever. This car's structure comes from one giant machine, generating thousands of tons of pressure, injecting molten aluminum into a single mold to produce one fully electric SUV, carrying a battery over 69 kilowatt hours that still weighs around 1,800 kilograms. Genuinely competitive with combustion SUVs running a fraction of the technology. And because it's aluminum, it doesn't rot from the inside the way steel does. No diesel, no transfer case, no mechanical locking differentials. 2 motors, a battery, and software making thousands of decisions a second. Water, mud, and high-voltage electronics. Sounds like a disaster sitting in wait. The interesting half is what happens the second your foot touches the pedal. A diesel has a built-in delay. Turbo spools, gearbox shifts. By the time full torque lands at the wheel, a beat's already passed. On a steep, greasy incline, electric has none of that hesitation. Full torque, the instant you touch the pedal. 2 motors, 1 per axle, 280 horsepower, 385 newton meters, split between front and rear in milliseconds by software, not a mechanical diff. The moment a wheel loses grip, the system catches it before a human driver would even register it happening, shifting power to whichever wheel actually has traction. Thousands of times a minute. It doesn't feel like a computer helping you. It feels like the car simply has more grip than physics has any right to give it.